Director and CEO of KBM Consultants. And I mostly work from London office, but today I'm in Lahore office to have our next year's plans and strategy. With me, I have Karen, our colleague and actually our guide for the day to run the presentation from Skovde University. I have Rabia, our head of business, KBM Consultants, Pakistan. Then I have Mohsin, our branch manager from Gulberg office, Gulberg branch. And I can see, I think Andrea has just joined in.
Yes, I'm joining. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
Hello.
now we can. Yeah. So I welcome Andrea. Yes, from Skovde University. Now I leave for with two of you to start the introduction for Skovde and Sweden, and followed by a question answer session. And thank you for your time to be with us today and with our students.
Thank you. As Kamran mentioned, my name is Karin Jonegård, and I work at the international office as the international coordinator at the University of Skovde. I'm going to be in charge of the presentation, but my colleague Andrea will also help me during the questions and answers. So please introduce yourself, Andrea.
Yes, hello everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today and meet you. My name is Andrea Jonsson, and I have been working at the international office of the University of Skovde for 10 years. Well, I'm presently on vacation, but I decided to just come in. I told Karen that I would come and join you today. So it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to students in Pakistan.
Perfect.
Welcome,
then I'll
Andrea.
start.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen here now, so you will see our presentation. So just hang in there, and yes. So now you can see the presentation, can't you?
Yes, we can.
Yes, this is a picture of our beautiful university, the University of Skovde in Sweden. And in today's agenda, I'm going to talk about Sweden, Skovde, University of Skovde, a bit about our international programs that are taught in English. I'm going to talk about the tuition fee and living costs, scholarships, possibilities for master's studies, the accommodation, Swedish language courses, application procedure, and then we'll have the questions and answers that Andrea is going to help me with. And first of all, I'd like you to introduce you to Sweden. Sweden is one of the most innovative countries in the world. Though we only make out like 0.14% of the world's population, the European Business School and European Commission has actually, you know, like how they do like a scoring. So according to the scoring, we're number one innovative country in the world. And according to the Global Innovation Index, we're ranked at number 2. So we're kind of innovative. With just like, 10 million people, that's like a normal city in some countries. But innovation in the world. And then we invest a lot of our GDP into research and development, which is probably the reason why we have so much new ideas and products. And I'm going to talk a bit about some of our most famous innovations. For example, if you heard about Spotify, I'm always using Spotify on a daily basis. It's kind of nice just listening to music. We also have the pacemaker, Dynamite as well. Skype is quite popular, in this whole Corona area time. And we also have Metro, Tetra Pak, and so on. And the reason why we have the Nobel Prize is actually because of the dynamite, because Alfred Nobel, he invented the dynamite, and then he became a very wealthy man. And then he decided that he wanted to use this wealth in a good way. So that's why we have the Nobel Prize. So we should encourage like new ideas and new solutions, innovations. and research as well. So we have kind of a tradition in church. And I'm going to talk about this small city that is a very lovely city in so many ways. That is located here in the south of Sweden. It's located between two of the big lakes in Sweden, Vänern and Vättern. And it's, you know, if you live in Skovde, it's kind of close to going basically anywhere. It's just like 2 hours away from Stockholm by train, or 1 hour away from Gothenburg. You can also go to the other capitals in the Nordic countries just within a few hours. So Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, is like 4 or 5 hours away. You can also go to Oslo, the capital of Norway, and that's just 4 hours away. So basically, if you're in Skovde, you can go anywhere. And some pictures. The thing with Skovde is that it's very beautiful located. It's as I said, as I mentioned, you can go anywhere because it's very good located. It's going to like in connection to communications, for example, trains. But we also have this nature really close, just around the corner. So, for example, it will just take you 7 minutes by car to go to this beautiful place called Mount Billingen, or 40 minutes away by just walking. And so, oh, now I'm hearing some sound. So this Mount Billingen is the region's most complete sport and recreation areas. And so go there camping, skiing in the winter. It's really beautiful. And Skovde is also the commercial center of an area called the Skovde region. And in this region, we have a lot of small companies as well as medium-sized companies. We also have some larger employers like Volvo, cars and trucks. We have the Skovde Regional Hospital. We have the Swedish Armed Forces as well. And we have the municipality of Skovde as well as the university. And we're also surrounded by history. Like this area, Skaraborg is one of the oldest areas in Sweden, actually. So you can see this beautiful church here. It's where the first kings of Sweden were actually buried. We also have this beautiful castle called Ecke Castle. It's one of the oldest and beautiful, and at the time, during the 17th century, it was one of the most important places to be in Sweden, because one of the most influential noble families, the Lagari, used to live there. And we also have, you can see this gold treasure. It's the second largest gold treasure ever found in Sweden. It was actually found in Skovde, in a place called Timboholm. And you can also see this place, Hornborgasjön, like Hornborga Lake. It's where the cranes come during the spring. It's also where you can find this really beautiful old alley. And you can see here also we have some Arena Skovde. It's a building for rehabilitation, fitness, gym, massage, and of course it has a lot of water slides, and you can go there. Yeah, you swim at one of the beautiful swimming pools, and that's just within a few minutes away from the university. We also have this very famous food festival in Skovde that is, it attracts almost about 100,000 people each year. And of course, there will be a lot of food. Some of the most famous chefs will come there, and we will also have amazing concerts with some of the most famous artists in Sweden. And yeah, here's some pictures from the city center. As you can see, it's very beautiful. Like, we have everything. We have really good shops, and at the same time, we have this small lake in the heart of the city. And so you can go there swimming during a hot summer day. And when you're studying, you can just go there and take a swim and then go back studying. That's just a few minutes away from the university. You can also see here, we have a lot of, a beautiful city center now. It's very much more beautiful because it's like the winter and we have a lot of Christmas decorations. And here you can see the train station. That's just within a few minutes away from the campus of the university. So it's quite easily. You can go there, on a Friday evening, you can go to Stockholm, take a weekend there, and go right away back within a couple of hours. So, but it's also a very friendly town. We have about 56,000 inhabitants. It's a very safe town. Yeah, you can go basically almost everything is in a walking distance. If you get lost, people will help you. Because people are kind of friendly there. And our university was actually established in 1977 by an act of the Swedish Parliament. We're a public institution, and the university is a government agency under the Swedish Ministry of Education and Research. The reason why we have so beautiful buildings are that they're actually old military buildings. At our campus, you can find anything. For example, you can find our campus is very high-tech and well-equipped, and which provides a very stimulating and creative environment. And here's some facts about the university. We have about 9,000 students. We have about 550 staff, 2% for being academic staff. We have about 70 study programs within bachelor's, master's, PhD, and we work very innovative and also cross-disciplinary. We have 24 programs fully taught in English. About 130 exchange agreements with partners, universities in more than 30 countries, and 360 incoming international students, and 60 outgoing exchange students. And so being a fairly small university, it's kind of easy to work across disciplines, which also contributes to a very new, innovative programs and collaborations. Chancellor Larsson, he actually started here as a student, and then he went to England, made his PhD at the University of Sheffield. He came back, became the professor in data science at the University of Skovde. He also was a duty president here at the university and also at another university. And then he was assigned to become the vice chancellor by the Swedish government. So he started his career here, and now he's our vice chancellor. And here's some pictures from the campus. And it's an overview. You can see here that like the blue lines, that the university is located in blue lines. And the green arrow is where science park of this located. And the pink area is like this joint research and innovation environment. So the left part of this pink, that is like the left part of the building belongs to a lot of different companies because we try to work like really close to the surrounding society and to have a good cooperation with small companies as well as medium-sized and large companies is very important for a research. So we try to work very closely to the industry. And concerning the learning environment and teaching style, many of our international students think that it's a bit different. And because the teaching style as well as the learning environment is different in Sweden, we foster students' independent thinking. We have a very open environment. When you're talking to your teacher, you're talking to them on a first name basis. So we have a very open, informal study environment. And this like traditional academic hierarchy is replaced by a very more open, colleagues, and their opinions are valued and encouraged by their teachers, basically. We think that this dialogue, this approach, encourage both dialogue and collaboration opportunities to bring forward new ideas as well as innovation. And the student is at the center of education provided at the university. Teacher always make themselves available and to help the students and ensure that the course content is fully understood. Our focus is to enable our students to develop their critical and analytical thinking skills, as well as their skills. You could do a lot of group work as well, and problem solving and leadership skills. So we try to really prepare our students for their future careers. We have a lot of from many different countries. This creates this amazing global classroom environment where students can encounter like different culture perspectives as well as to build their own international network. And the thing though that also is a bit different that is like in many countries there will be a lot of lectures. In Sweden or at the University of Skovde we don't have always that many lectures, but you're supposed to study at least 40 hours a week, but it means that you have to structure your own studies quite a lot. And a lot of our students, they work together in like either formal group works or they sit together and study, as you can see here on the pictures. So this is very often how it looks in our corridors at the university. Students coming together and studying. So yeah, and I'm just going to talk very fast. The student union is run by students for students and works with issues that affect students at the university. And you know, our representatives of the student union, we work kind of closely with them all the time, especially now during these Corona times. But we think that their opinions are very important and highly valued when we're like constructing courses and yeah, so on. And we also have something on organization that is called ESN that works with basically international students. And yeah, you can see a picture from the mountain Billingen where they are, and they sometimes make like this small trip. But yeah, they're also an important um, uh, an important partner for the university. And we also have something called Framtid, which is a career fair that it has been arranged by the student union since 1985. And 35 to 40 exhibitors per year. This is a really good opportunity for the students to meet like different companies, municipalities, governmental agencies, and talk to them and get ideas for, you know, like or get internship and so on. So it's important that we have this connection all the time to the surrounding companies and industry as well. And we have 5 schools at the University of Skovde. It's the bioscience school, and then the School of Informatics, the School of Engineering Science, the School of Business, and the School of Health Science. And we consider ourselves, you know, giving like first-class education, and we also have internationally competitive. For example, like even though the University of Skovde is relatively young, you can like still compare us with the old prestige universities in terms of quality. Like in there was this quality assessment study conducted by the Swedish Higher Education Authority, and it showed that yeah, we rank kind of high. I'm going to show you. You can see here we are a kind of a young university, but still, both Lund and Uppsala, which are the 2 oldest universities in Sweden, we're kind of close to them according to this quality assessment. And yeah, so we have seen that in all our subject areas, the percentage of our subject areas were very high quality, and we had a very low percentage of lack of quality. So you can see them here. And we also have some very interesting projects. I'm just going to just mention them, but I would like encourage you to check them out on our website. For example, in informatics, we have like a disrupted real-time system, interactive lab. There's software system research group as well. And concerning is systems biology, we have a lot of research programs concerning biotechnology, computer neuroscience, and philosophy, for example. And virtual engineering, yeah, that's one of our other research areas. And then a lot of projects concerning users and production design, virtual manufacturing processes. And like our research at the University of Skovde, they really want to contribute to make changes. That's why our research efforts carried out like in this tight collaboration with the community. So there's always a clear connection to the research and the education to the university and also the surrounding industry. So yeah, so our aim is that the university's research will make like a difference, not just only locally, but nationally as well as internationally. So we have kind of high aim. And here are some programs you can see here. In that sense, we're a bit unique. There are not that many bachelor programs taught in other universities in Sweden. We're kind of one of the few universities that actually have bachelor programs that are taught in English. And they are mainly within bioscience. So it's a 3-year program in biomedicine, as well as a 3-year program in bioscience, molecular biodesign, as well as molecular bioinformatics. We have a lot of master programs that are taught in bioscience, for example, bioinformatics, biomarkers in molecular medicine, cognitive neuroscience, mind and brain. And a lot of them are like either a 1-year master or a 2-year master. So yeah, for example, we have in infectional biology, as well as molecular biology, a 1-year or a 2-year master. We also have both 1-year and a 2-year master in informatics, like data science or game development or game user experience, privacy information, cybersecurity, and serious games as well. And we also have programs within engineering, like intelligent automation and virtual ergonomics and design as well. So please check them out on our website, or you can ask more about them during our questions and answers. We also have a PhD program at the university, and the PhD students studies at the university Skovde are funded as a rule by a PhD student employment. It's like a normal employment, and you can see them on our website. And yeah, because there is where you will find our job opportunities. So a PhD program within informatics. And we also have, as I mentioned, this pink area when you saw the campus map, this Science Park Skovde. And the university collaborates with Science Park Skovde. It's a center of research and innovation. It was established in 1999. It's when these buildings were built. And the aim is to create this interaction between the surrounding business community as well as the academia. So we have a lot of our students who will set up their own companies, and then they will start at you see the right part of that building. And there's also a lot of other like small and medium-sized companies that works with the industry there as well. And so the interaction between the academia and the business world is very important for us. And we also try to encourage students to set up their own companies. We do that in the business incubator, and then they will get quite a lot of help to develop their own ideas as well. We also have something called Sweden Game Arena, and that is, yeah, that we're trying to work like on this international arena with matching our environment and our city for the academia, research and enterprise. So it's a way to like marketing ourselves. And we also have this place called Avail, and it's a meeting place where anyone working within the manufacturing industry or technology company can find relevant contacts. So the whole aim with ASA is to establish, like, we have really, really amazing ideas about becoming like the world leading interaction, physical and virtual development environment for research and technology development, as well as innovation and education. It's like this meeting place where education, innovation, and research meet each other to create new solutions. So, and in this ASA project, there's a lot of people involved. For example, the University of Skovde, we have something called the CES, which works quite a lot within the industry, as well as, Volvo Car Corporation, the Volvo Group as well. And here are some examples of our industrial partners, as you can see. It's, for example, we are one of the preferred research partner to the Volvo Group Academic Partner Program, which gives us a lot of opportunities. We also have a cooperation with like IKEA and Volvo and Diao and Electrolux and a lot of both like nationally famous companies as well as international famous companies. And this is, I'm just going to show like, oh, it's misspelled, I'm sorry, the knowledge triangle. Here you can see like how the research works together with education as well as innovation. And we also have a lot of support from the municipality of Skovde to help us out with like the whole infrastructure. So like Skovde really tries to be this place where all these parts come together to create like new solutions to both old and new problems. So it's very important that they work together: education, research, innovation, and infrastructure. And yes, I'm going to talk about and living costs and the possibility of scholarships. For example, the total tuition for a one-year program that is 60 credits, it's about 130,000 Swedish crowns. And the total tuition for 2 years, for a two-year program, is 260,000 Swedish crowns. The total tuition fee for a three-year program is 180 credits. It's about 390,000 Swedish crowns. And you always have to pay your tuition before every semester. So you have to pay like at least 65,000 Swedish crowns in advance. That's about 6,300 euros or 7,700 US dollar. You can read more about this, the guidelines regarding tuition fees, and on our website. And we have concerning the living costs. Well, this is like an estimate how much it costs to live in Sweden. For example, you can see here that it will cost you about 880 euros a month or about 1,000 US dollar to live in Sweden as a student. Food will cost you about 2,200 in Swedish crowns. Like the student accommodation can cost you somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 Swedish crowns. Local travels, well, as I mentioned, you know, if you live in Skovde, if you get yourself a bike, you can basically cycle anywhere or just walk anywhere. So it's not expensive. So expensive, you don't have to travel a lot within the local area. The telephone and the internet is about 3,000. Clothing, hobby, leisure, and other things are about 2,000. So the total per month in Swedish crown is about 8,000 to 9,000 Swedish crowns. I also have this link, Studying Sweden, and it's kind of a good website if you want to read more about how it is to live in Sweden and so on. And there's also a lot of students writing about their experience to study and live in Sweden, basically. We also have some scholarships. As you can see here, there's this scholarship called the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professional. And it's a very good scholarship. I really highly recommend you to actually apply for it because it will cover everything. It will cover your tuition fee, it will cover your living costs, and so on. And you can see here, like the application period is open between the 8th until the 18th of February in 2021. And you will get the results from the scholarship on the 28th of April 21. So, as I mentioned, it covers everything. And we also have a scholarship here at the University of Skovde. It's a master scholarship. Unfortunately, we don't have any scholarships concerning bachelors, but this scholarship will partially like partially pay your tuition fee, like 50% for master students. And it's very important that you apply for studies. Yeah, first of all, you have to apply for your studies at the University of Skovde via the university admission. And it's very important that you apply as the University of Skovde as your first priority. And you also have to apply for scholarship directly on the University of Skovde's website. And the deadline is the 1st of February 2021, and we will give you the results on the 12th of April in 2020. And there you will find all the instructions, like you have to record a small video, you have to write like a short letter why you really want to get this scholarship. And we also, if you're a student here at the University of Skovde, we will offer you some Swedish courses. It's optional, so it's not something you have to do, but it's kind of, I really highly recommend you to take this chance. So one course is about the Swedish society and the Swedish culture. It's about 3 credits, and you will, of course, be offered this course free of charge about the Swedish society and the Swedish culture. And we also have this course called Swedish for foreign students. It will give you the basics, basically, in talking in Swedish and understanding Swedish. Yeah. And we also, concerning accommodation, we will help you. Of course, we can't guarantee anyone to get an accommodation, and it's really hard to get an accommodation in Sweden, but we will try really to help you. And the University of Skovde, we have like 4 accommodation areas with furnished student rooms, and the rent is about 3,000 to 4,000 Swedish crowns per month, which is about 3,600 euros, as well as $450 US. And it's very important that you apply as soon as you receive your admission. As I mentioned, it's kind of hard getting an apartment in Sweden. It's very tough for everyone, but we will help you. And however, families are not allowed, so that's yeah. So if you're going to bring your family, you have to get your accommodation on your own. But there's like this website, Skovde Bostäder, that will help you out. And these 4 areas where you will be able to live is called Norra Trängalen, Prenius Plaza, Xenia Hastum. And all of them is kind of close to the universities. Some of them are basically on the campus area, while another one is perhaps, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes away by walking. So, but kind of close. And the application procedure, yeah, it's very important that you can't apply directly to the University of Skovde. You have to apply through this university admission. And it's very, very important that you meet all the deadlines. So the application round started on the 16th of October. It will be open until the 15th of January. And you also have to pay like this application fee that is 900 Swedish crowns. If you don't pay that, they will not even look into your application. So very, very important. That's, as I mentioned, 900 in Swedish crowns, or 88 euros, or about $106 US. And you have to pay that application fee before the 1st of February. You also, the 1st of February is a deadline for a lot of other things. So it's a deadline for your documents. It's, you know, if you have supporting documents or your Ielts and so on, you have to hand them in, upload them before the 1st of February. And then on the 9th of April, you will get your result if you're admitted or not, published. And yeah, so very important that you need all of this. As I mentioned, I will repeat it to be sure. The application deadline is the 15th of January. Documentation submission 1st of February. Application fee deadline 1st of February as well. And the notification of the selection results for master, you're going to find out if you have been admitted on the 9th of April. And if you concerning bachelors, it will be on the 16th of April. And we will also start our introduction program on the 23rd of August in 2021. And the first program meeting is on the 30th of August on 2021. And it's very important that that you as a student will be participating in this introduction program, because there's a lot of things happening and you will get a lot of information, and it's a very good way to get to know other students and so on. So when you're applying to the Swedish immigration authorities to get your residence permit, try to get it at least like 2 weeks before your program starts. And yeah, now it's time for questions and answers. This was a short introduction, and now Andrea will help me out.
Yes, I have been answering some questions on the chat, and but I can. There was a question about entry requirements, and yeah.
Miss, I have a question. Is there any minimum CGPA to avail scholarship?
No, for the scholarship, the first thing is that you need to qualify for the program, for the master's program. There are scholarships for masters only, not for bachelors. And so for candidates with studies in Pakistan, they need to have a 4-year bachelor's degree, or they need to have a bachelor's degree of minimum 124 credits.
Okay.
That's the like a basic requirement for bachelor's and master's, sorry. So there is no, the grades are not that important for admission. What happens is that when they apply for scholarship, a tip I would give to the students is that to apply on time. Because if they do not meet the deadlines, and Colin showed the dates, all students who apply until the 15th of January and submit all the documents, pay the application fee before the 1st of February. If they meet the requirements, they will get admitted on 9th April. So the universities, university admission or us, the universities in Sweden, we only touch the late applications if we have seats available. So we are going to be working with the applications that are on time. So it influences the scholarship, of course, because when we get our applications, we are only going to consider the ones we're going to get admitted on in the beginning of April. So this is the first thing. And it really depends on your chances for scholarship depends on a variety of factors, because you need to, in our scholarship, for example, the scholarship to us, I'm not going to talk about the Swedish Institute, but you need to write a short motivation on our website saying why you want to take the program. So sometimes what you write there, what the student writes there, can really show the program director about the research or something that student has achieved previously that would make that student, he would rank the student as a for scholarship, because when we receive all scholarship applications, we send to the different program directors, because we have 24 master's programs, so we send to them, they rank the students, and then there will be a scholarship committee to choose those scholarships. And so I would say that the motivation letter is very important, and also the video that they record. They need to record a 2-minute video, something very simple with a mobile phone, but something that we can really hear what they are saying. And so this video is very important too. So they don't send the video to us, but they can upload that video unlisted on YouTube, for example, and send us just the link, and it's very important. We do not consider scholarships without motivation or without video. Yeah, so then we check everything. We check the grades, we check the video, check and it's up to the program director. They give their opinion and they rank the students. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Some questions, sir.
Yes.
Do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. And is there any program in Skovde Masters in Physiotherapy?
Physiotherapy? No, we don't. We have a master's in. I think there was a slide there. We have masters in bioscience. But not in physiotherapy. No.
And ma'am, what are the chances to appear in PhD after completing your master's?
PhD, yes. Our PhD at our university is mainly in the IT sector. So it's IT or information technology. But we have students, most of our students finishing our masters in bioscience, for example, they continue to PhD, even in cognitive neuroscience, they continue to PhD at other universities, either in Sweden or in Europe. So they can continue. We have masters that are 1 year, and then we have masters that are 2 years. If I would recommend the student, of course, they can. I have seen students taking the 1 year master's program and going to PhD, but if the student is planning to continue in Sweden and going to PhD, I would really recommend, because PhD in Sweden is like a job position. It's paid. It's not like that it's paid. So they reply to a job offer at the different universities, and I think they would be more something more to show if they have a 2-year master's program, because then their thesis would be a bit longer, a bit more. They would have more time. Generally, the thesis is done together with a partner. We have a partner within the industry, so it would be good to we have seen, for example, some of the PhD positions that we have at our universities, they are financed by a partner. So they have a project, and then they want to recruit someone for that project. And if there is a master student who they already know or who has done something related to that project, it is, be easier for that person to get a job, So I would really recommend the students who are really motivated and who are aiming at to go to PhD to concentrate on their studies and do their best to hand in everything on time and meet all the deadlines within their studies so that they can apply for PhD later,
Thank you.
Are there more questions?
In the gap, and I think in the comments, thank you, Andrea. In the comments, I'm seeing that the gap for any courses by one of the students.
No problem with gap.
We
have students who have been working for a long time or having no problem. But what's important is like that we see the documents, and there's no problem with age, no problem with gap. Everyone is welcome to apply. There is a question about Ielts. If it's for master's programs, in our case, we offer programs within natural sciences or technology. So generally, the students from Pakistan, they meet the English requirements is just with their bachelor's degree. I think the only exception is information technology. Information technology, they need to take the Ielts. If they want to take, for example, our data science program or our privacy information and cybersecurity, they need to take the Ielts. And that, I think, I think if they want to take a bachelor studies here also directly from school, from high school, let me see here. Yes, if they are coming from high school, they need to take the Ielts too. In order to attend one of the bachelor's programs. We have 3 bachelor's programs. We have one in biomedicine, one in bioscience, molecular biodesign, and one in molecular bioinformatics. They are 3 years bachelor's program, so the student can take 3 years, and if they want to continue to masters, they can continue at our university or another Swedish university. In our university, the program directors for next year, they told me for the bachelor's programs, they told me that if the student does not have time to take the Ielts or something, that they would be available, and if they meet the requirements for the program, all the other requirements, that they would interview these bachelor students via Skype or Zoom in order to check their English. But I'm talking about for bachelors. So they could, if they meet the other requirements, they could go via the interview a bachelor's with the bachelor's program directors. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So for the other, most of the programs, I mean, most of the students from master's level from Pakistan, they meet the English requirements just for their bachelor's degree, I would say, except information technology or except programs that are more into humanity. We don't offer any program like that, but I was answering someone on the chat about they had education in mass communication. And in this field, we don't have any master's program, but we have 4 master's programs within computer game development, and one of them is in digital narration. So I have seen students with a background in, for example, in English literature being admitted into that program. So and with communication, I would say that he could get admitted. It's a 1-year master's. So I would think that he would need to have an IELTS, but generally the program directors from the game programs, they can interview the students also in English. So maybe we could fix an interview for him if he is interested. Maybe if you can forward the link to the program information to the program to the student. Umer, I think it's Umer, if he is interested. Are there any other questions?
Andrea, are you planning to, in the coming future, planning to add any programs in business studies or?
Yes, we are planning to have business in the future. I have heard from the School of Business, because we have programs in business, but they are taught in Swedish. Yeah. So we have been expecting the program to open for years. I mean, at least 7 years I have been talking to them, please put all the courses in English, put all the courses within this program in English, because I know that there are many students who want to study business. So I believe we're going to have a master's program in marketing in 1 year in 2022. Yes.
So marketing, international business, subjects like that, because the students from Pakistan are quite keen to have international education in business, in ICT, but the engineering and bioengineering is also quite a good program. But many students who aspire to study abroad, they also see the job market in their own country, and for business studies, there's a big job market back in the country, as well as internationally. So yes, I understand that you are already planning to encourage your colleagues to launch these courses ASAP. But this is just a suggestion from my side.
Yes, I know, and we have been suggesting our own School of Business for years, but it seems that they are working on this, and that the all the syllabus, all the program is going to be of one program in marketing. Master's group is going to be in English. So, but not in this application now. It's for next year, for 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And,
somebody is saying, I have masters in English literature. How can I apply? Well, we don't have any masters in language. We don't offer language programs at our university. So our university is focused on information technology and computer science, very strong in computer science, bioscience, and engineering, especially in our international programs. But I don't know, in fact, a person does not get admitted with the master's. The person gets admitted, it depends on which bachelor's you have and which field you have. Because here in Sweden, it's different than in other countries, that sometimes people can have a degree in one field and then migrate to another field in the master's. And here, generally, it's not like that. You have to take your master's within the same field. So for this question that I get here from on Facebook, I think it comes from Facebook, I really need to know which field you have, and then I would tell you which masters we have to offer to you. I mentioned before about English literature that I have seen a person with a bachelor's in English literature who took a master's in digital narration. And even after getting that degree in digital narration, because this is within the School of Informatics, the person once finished this master's could migrate to another master's within computer science. So this was a real case that a person could migrate from one field to another because of this program. But it's like, it's interdisciplinary. So the person could get into that and then migrate to another. Within gaming, yeah. We have a 2-year master's program in gaming and game development, and it's very game development. Skovde is very famous in game development, and there are students coming from all over the world to study with us because, and all over Sweden also, because Skovde is one of the best universities in the world for game development. We have lots, as Karen mentioned about the science park here on next to campus. There is a business incubator. So, and this business incubator, many game studios have started, and even these Coffee Team Studios that develops this goat simulator. This started at the university from students. So this is, if there is a student from the School of Informatics that has a very good business plan, they can go to the incubator and show their project, and they can even get help to start their companies there in the science park. So there are many companies, and all of them, I think, they come from students. So yeah.
And as you mentioned, the game development and the programs and courses, and game development is a very big industry globally now. It's $1 billion industry now. So there are actually, I would recommend that there are many opportunities in terms of jobs or self-employment. But I have one more question, Andrea, here. So do you actually, most of your students get the guaranteed work placement or job, like it is quite likely they get the opportunity to have the work experience in the same field which they're studying?
You mean guaranteed work?
Work experience.
Work experience within the program. Many students ask about internship or something. It does not work like that in Sweden. One thing I would like to mention is that all of our schools, they have a lot of partners within the industry. So the projects that they do within their different programs generally have to do with our partners. So they will have contact with the companies, but it's not any paid position, or it's not like a formal internship. They are going to visit the companies. They're going to have work with the companies within their projects, because these are real cases from our partners. So we want our master students, they don't work for them within their studies. And we have seen a lot of students that after they finish the program, they can get internship in that company if they do a good job. Or we have students from the engineering school, from master students who are now, they did their thesis, and their thesis was very successful. They got a job at Volvo, for example. Here in the city of Skovde, it's a small town, but we have two very big plants, factories from Volvo, producing Volvo cars, Volvo engines for Volvo cars, Volvo trucks. So, and it's mainly on campus, 1 kilometer from the campus. So we have seen our students now, they are working in Gothenburg, is 1 hour from here, at Volvo, for example, the ones who did their thesis. So it is really depends on, but it really depends on how the student is dedicated into their studies and into the projects, especially the projects, because I see that the students who see the university as their job, because we see them as a job because they have to spend 40 hours a week. They study full time. They're not going to have all the time of lectures. In fact, maybe they only have 4 or 5 hours of lecture per week. It's not much, but there will be a lot of group work, individual work, a lot of projects. And if they invest their free time, okay, of that 40 hours into their projects, they can be very successful. We see students who even got admitted at our university because there were jobs, and then they got the jobs, they applied because they got jobs at partners. But these are students who really dedicated and who are really motivated and do a good job in the project, in the thesis, assignments, you know. Here in Sweden, it's very important to meet deadlines, you know, to be on time and meet deadlines. It's very, very important. Right? We were cutting. Last week, we were watching talk about cultural differences and something that we consider here in Sweden, that a person is reliable it's a person can meet deadlines, for example.
Being on time.
And this is different from other countries. They consider other things, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. That's really great. And team, do you have any other question?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question. If any student having a bachelor's in electronic engineering, so he can apply for the business studies in master's?
But we don't have business studies, so I cannot tell you because I cannot tell you because we don't have that. Yeah. So it depends. When we have the program, we're gonna have the entry requirements. I would say that a person with that electronics, I would recommend a person to take a look at our master's programs in intelligent automation and virtual ergonomics in design. These are programs within production engineering, you know. But so generally, the students who get admitted, they have a background in mechanical engineering or automation engineering, product design engineering. But I have seen, depending on the courses, the modules that the students have taken during their bachelor's programs, even if it's in electrical or telecommunications engineering, for example, sometimes they study a lot of other subjects that would meet the entry requirements. So the program directors, they will check the transcripts of grades, see the programs that they have taken, and if they could. I have seen students admitted, but I cannot say that all of them would get admitted into the intelligent automation, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
About programs, we're planning for the future, we need to see first what they decide as the entry requirements.
Thank you so much.
All right. I think I can see we have finished our slot of 1 hour, but thank you very much, Andrea, Karen, for your time. It was a wonderful
Thank you.
session,
Thank
and I
you.
hope students will benefit from this live session and with the recording of it. And we really look forward to work on the program. We have just been briefed, although we are already doing a lot of work on that. And thank you again. And we wish you all a very good day.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to students in Pakistan. Thank you very much. I wish you
Thank
have a
you.
nice day and a nice week ahead. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions,
Okay.
you can send your questions to Cameron and then leave your questions there, that they forward the questions to you, and we can even contact the program directors if you have any questions about the specific program. So thank you very much.
And
you.
yeah, I would also like to take the opportunity to
Thank
mention that since we are authorized partner by Skovde University, so students can contact us in our branches with our team, and will be at their service to process their admissions.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you
You
very
all have a
much.
good day. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in Herbe.
Yeah, I look forward to. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.